up. There's a lot of reefs there, and they'll hold on the edges of them, so you can just work out where your reef is. You don't have to be close, it's going to be in that sort of 30-40 metres range. And one thing, gummies as well, don't burley. They have the strongest scent out of pretty much every single shark. Their scent is some of the best, and they will pick up baits from kilometres away, where you hit fish like your Port Jacksons and your banjos, your swell sharks and all that sort of stuff. If you burley, you fish these channels, you already get 50 fish a night, 40 fish, are just absolute rubbish, especially in summer. This time of year is a bit different because the water's not warmer. But if you fish where the shitfish are the gummies are with burley, you'll be in trouble. You won't get to go. You burley, I'm not saying you won't, but you'll be make it harder. You'll go through 100 hooks, you'll go through 400 salmon, you'll go through everything. So, female sharks and the gummy shark, they grow bigger. So your males, you don't see a lot of males above that sort of 10 to 11 kilo. You don't see a lot of males much bigger than that. The males are the ones that have the two pointy bits down the bottom. They feed on your crustaceans, your worms, cephalopods, all that sort of stuff. They'll feed on all around. They're just scavengers of the sea. They'll roll around. They're constantly active as well. The tides, you want to fish the last, same as the whiting, but a little bit longer. I try, and if I'm fishing, say, got an ebb tide to say tonight at 7 o'clock, I'll try and be fishing, well, sort of around 4:30, 2.5 hours before the tide, and then I'll fish the start of the run-in as well. So I like fishing start both tides, the start end and the start. And ebb tide, which is your ebb tide, your outgoing tide. Ebb tide is your best tide, like for gummies. I've got numbers of gummies, like I've got heaps and heaps of them, and I don't reckon probably, wouldn't it be a quarter, but I've caught off the flood tide, everything's come off the outgoing tide. That's my personal preference. One reason being probably because I don't fish the flood tide as much, but the ebb tide is always where, banks, the way the banks I fish as well, they always run off from the ebb tide as well. Where some people say the flood tide's better, which I'm not a huge fan of flood tide. Actually, I probably won't even fish the flood tide. There's ebb tide, anything that I fish. Your moon systems, that's also to do with your tides, so they'll create bigger and smaller tides. So I like to fish for your gummies, which is slower tide, for your gummies, which gives you a longer time to fish them, because you can get nearly a whole tide. So in the middle of your moons, you'll have your 4 to 5 to 6 knot tides, where you have your full moon, for example, we just had that full moon go the other day, we had tides at 2.1 knots. And that's the tide that I was fishing, those tides, the slowest tide of the day. So I was fishing those slower tides, and you want to fish the slower tides, because you can, like I said, you can fish the whole tide for them as well. You can go through that whole tide, they'll be swimming around that whole tide, where they won't hide out of the tide, and they'll come out and feed, where like it is on a bigger tide, we've got to fish that short amount of time. Your bait, fresh is a must for gummies. Like I said, they've got one of the best scent for bait and stuff. You don't, same as your burley for whiting, you don't use old crappy stuff for burley as well. You don't use crap baits for it either. Use fresh bait. I won't use frozen bait for my gummies. I'll try and catch it the night. I'll catch it the day before or whatnot. Or even if I'm going out, say tonight, I would have went out at lunchtime, tried to catch a heap of salmon and squid. Squid's no worries, it's fine. The salmon have been a bit harder this year. Last year they were no worries, but salmon's been harder. You want to get your salmon. Salmon, squid, trevally, cuda, pike, and when you fish certain areas like in Swan Bay, in your meter, like you're only fishing meter, like 0.8 to the meter in Swan Bay, they'll also eat pilchards as well.
And what about your parrotfish?
I haven't used it yet. Supposedly the parrotfish will work a lot better if you're fishing around reef structure. That's what I've been told. That's obvious because they live there. I've never used it. I always use salmon. Yeah, it would work. I'm sure. Yeah, I reckon. Wayne, we had a chat about that Wayne the other night. Wayne said, because I've been struggling to be on the gummies this last couple of weeks. I've done like 10 trips on them and I've got 2 fish, but everyone's sort of struggling. I don't know why at all. It's been weird. But Dwayne goes, why don't you try a reef offshore and use parrotfish? I'm like, I don't go. But yeah, salmon's my number one go-to bait. Big factor as well this time of the year in winter. Don't use too much squid for bait. You'll find 90% of your squid, 90% of your gummies will come off your flesh baits like fish valley, your salmon, your blah blah blah, that sort of stuff. Where your squid, I won't get many fish on squid this time of year at all. No reason why. I don't even know Charlie McKillop who fishes the gummies a hell of a lot. I spoke to him about it and he goes, I'm the same as you. He goes, I only use salmon this time of year and we've got no reason for it, but they just do not eat the squid. Like, no reason at all. So 6 to 10 kilo rods, I like using a little bit better gear for the gummies. Something with I like a little bit of tip movement as well in it. I didn't feel the wheels in there. Just your same sort of your snappers, your 4,500s. But the problem with the gummies though is when you're fishing in the tide though, you have major problems with the shitfish. So you'll get 7 gills, you'll get bronzies, you'll catch big rays. You can't stop them on lighter gear, which you can stop the gummies on because you can turn the gummies because they'll play the game. Your rays you can't stop. They will sit underneath your boat and suck to the bottom. You're trying to lift 60 to 70 kilo shoveling those ray. On a light rod or a light ray, you're just going to go through that much gear. So I up my gear a little bit and I run 30 to 50 pounds on my bronze reel on my braid, and my leader, I run 80 pounds leader as well. Like I said, it's not as such for the gummies, it's more of the fact that you can't stop the shitfish. Yeah, they're too, you go through 100 hooks a night if you're constantly using lighter gear on them. Just the normal Gamakatsu 6.0, 8.0 big bait hooks I use. Your chunk bait, you tend to run your bigger hooks on. Your splash bait, you get away with a little bit smaller. Once same again, pin your bait at the top. Don't put it in the middle of the bait, because it will spin in the tide. Pin it at the top, same as normal.
One hook?
I only use one hook on them, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see you ask that. Yeah, I use only the one hook on them all the time, yeah. My theory is I use circles. My theory is if you're using a circle hook on gummies, because they mouth the whole bait, you'll find that they will swallow it, go down. One hook, every time you pull them up, you've got 2 hooks, the one hook, the first hook will be always the one in it. Where snapper's different, I reckon if they snapper, like gummies will eat the whole bait, where your snapper will come up and crunch the bait. So if you use your bottom hook too, that's where your bottom hook comes into benefit with the snapper. Same, I use circles to snapper too, but that's where your bottom hook comes into advantage as well. And the gummies, they'll just eat the whole bait. They won't come up and bite half of it off like a snapper, they'll eat it. That's the rig I use for your gummies. So you've got your braid at the top. Then you've got a slider. I don't know if you know what a slider is.
Yeah, easy rig.
Easy rig slider. So you get, when you bite, they're about this big, plastic. They run up and down the line, and you can run a bit of mono from your braid to your swivel to stop the abrasion of the braid, which is what I do sometimes because they're lazy on peeling or whatnot. And then you run, instead of, they've got a clip on the easy rig, they've got a clip on it. I take the clip off, and I run a longer leader to hold your bait off the bottom. When you run the small clip and clip the swivel on, sinker on, your bait sits on the bottom a bit more. But I run a longer leader so your bait sits up off the bottom a bit more. Most people do that as well. You swivel, and have your leader, which is sort of that 1.2 again for your gummies, which is sitting in that tide pin, run a little bit longer, and then your 80 pound leader with your gummy guts for the bottom. That's where I run your gummies inside with your longer baits.
Aaron, with those easy rigs, just a little bit of tip for people. I've found that if you buy them straight, put them in straight out of the box, they do have a bit of, because it's a plastic mould, they do have a bit of junk in there that does wear your line a lot better. I find if you run a drill through and then tape the end of each end of it, it does run a lot freer, and you get a lot less line in too. So that negates the necessity of putting your line on, because you can run it straight under your braid. I've had no problems with it.
Yeah, I don't have no problems at all. Some people say they're cut the braids, I'm like, I don't have a huge problem.
Like I said, I just run a drill through it.
Yeah, right.
Away you go.
Yeah.
You can use this.
Is it okay to have a shock leader as
Yeah,
well?
you can have a shock leader if you want. I don't see the benefit of it because you're running with longer leader as well when you've got 50 pound braids.
We'll just put light size to get snake, you just use.
Yeah, that's well. I use a 20 pound on it as well, and also if you get a nice fish on it as well, your sink will break off and does all sorts of stuff as well. You don't want to run 80 pound when you sink it because that's really exploited for weeks.
One of the main reasons we were running shock leaders for a while was we were saying that the braid was singing,
Yeah.
and by putting a couple of rod lengths we get rid of the singing, whether it's real or not. When you got fast water,
Yeah.
big sinkers, braid all the way to the swivel, you could hear a faint singing. Put a shock leader on, takes the singing away.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
What song was it?
Like
John New.
It wasn't Lucy, was it?
This is your south channel, so your main shipping channel. So which comes through from the heads. Obviously the head's down here, comes up and comes in, goes up to Mount Martha and then back up to Melbourne. These are all your banks I was talking about up along the channel. Like for example, this is your shallower end. I fish up the high end a bit more. See, you got your banks here. You see here, it's 0.2 of a metre there. So you've got an ebb tide which is coming down, which is the tide going out. Your ebb tide's coming all through here like this. You're fishing on your 0.2 of a metre, 5 metres, 10 metres, 12 metres, 20 metres. So I fish up on that 12 metres of water through there. Same as all along the channel. And up here it drops down to 30 metres up there. So a lot of people fish up that end, you 30 metres, 35 metres. a lot of people do the same sort of situation. You just want to set your spot up, even on this tide. So if you've got a little bit of a northern wind, which is coming from this way, then pushing your boat, you want to get your baits into the channel, so you try and fish. You want to go to slack water. If you've got a southerly, your boat swings up onto the bank, no good. You want to fish with your tide. For example, if you've got a northerly wind fish on this side, you get blown up again. So you want to fish on this side, you northerly, you blow into the tide a little bit, into the channel. Obviously you're going to get by a ship, so don't go too far in. But this side, set your boat up again so you can see. All you got to do is just work out where the banks are. So you have a look on your charts and your navigations on your chart. Just look where the shallow water is, where it goes to deep water, and fish in between. Try to fish in between. So that's 12 metres, because the fish will be running on that 12 metre and just underneath as well. Same as up here. And so that's the south channel. This is your Simmons channel, all through here. It runs all the way down. I think they can go in front of there, which is wide in one. So your Simmons, there's a lot of the channels here that run into your Simmons channel. All on these banks here. Same again, I fish on the edges of the banks. The fish will travel on the edges of the banks, feeding the fish, and you want to fish in this channel. You're fishing a little bit shallower up this end, which is your 8 to 10 metres. That's just the average of this side of the bay. You can also fish on the outgoing tide, fishing all these little gutters here. All the gummies are going to be sitting on the edge of these things, or on the edge of all these banks, fishing off, feeding off all the stuff that gets washed down. Same as the flood tide as well. You can fish up in here on your flood tide because it's all washing off your banks. And your gummies are all they're hungry, so they're going to fish. They're going to feed all along those banks again. Like I said, I like to fish the outgoing tide for them, but each their own. Bit of secret sort of stuff up in Swan Bay. Not a lot of people know. You get a hell of a lot of gummies in here. A hell of a lot of gummies. Not big ones, just your small ones. But you can catch up to 7, 8, and 9 in there, and fish your moons again. And also, the problem is the new moons are light, so you can't do anything about it. Some people say you can buy this stocking stuff. People buy, you can put your baits in that. I haven't tried it. I probably should try it. I haven't tried it, but I reckon that works well. But if you're fishing in here on the moon, you get a lot of lice in there. And in summer, the problem in here is because it's such warm water, it holds a lot of banjos, like a hell of a lot of banjos. You'll go through 100 baits in there in the night. But you persist on your tide change, your hour on each side, you'll get nice eating gummies, like really nice eating gummies, like sort of that 8 kilo range. Like we've got a couple around that 10, but most of them are between 4 to 8 kilos. And you can get, like I said, you can get 3, 4, 5. Sometimes you don't get anything, but I've had nights in there where you get a lot of fish.
You just got to be careful when you're going in there, mate.
Yeah, coming through all these channels up here, you got to come back into the main channel. I fish in a metre, just over a metre in off these banks. What you have as well is the marine park in there too. So
Is the green the marine part?
so the marine park I think is this. So the yellow boys, yeah, that's yellow. The yellow boys, when you go in there, you can line them up. So you'll see when you navigate too, and also on the thing when you zoom in. I'm pretty sure the marine park is everywhere, all the way through here, unless in that channel. Yeah, that channel, that 150 metre strip channel, which is whatever they call that. From the pier, which is down here, all the way through. All this bank here, it's all good through gummies through here too. This one, I know you'll definitely fish all through that. But like I said, there's yellow marine park there, yellow marine park, but in the middle you can fish. There's all marine park here, marine park all through here. Right, and yeah, gummy sharks in question.